May I now request the speakers of this panel to make their initial remarks. May I now call upon Mr. Vadiraj Kulkarni to present his views, please. Mr. Vadiraj Kulkarni. A big hand for Mr. Kulkarni.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me. The house is full, so it's going to be exciting. Thanks, Mr. Venkatagiri, for setting the context with your interesting anecdotes. We, represent largely specialty papers, writing, printing paper, virgin paper boards, as well as recycle boards. Okay, so we're not into craft, so I won't know much about that industry. But in my own assessment, notwithstanding the current issues of what's happening between Russia and Ukraine, if the COVID, I think 2 years of COVID has significantly changed a lot of things for various industries, including our industry. So first theme of my talk would be on availability, continuous availability of raw material. And I think thanks to Dr. Ashok Kumar, he's covered a lot of these topics that we're going to spend probably the next 1 hour. So I'll pick up some thoughts from there too, both for virgin paperboard industry as well as recycled. Why am I saying this is because I think we are globally more connected than earlier. So our dependence on raw materials for both these segments is very high today. While the virgin paper industry with integrated pulp mills, largely that's there today and globally that's picking up, is certainly helping us as far as the hardwood is concerned, because we can set up hardwood pulp mills. And you know that we've already set up BCTMP, which means at some scale, Indian industry can also integrate with a BCTMP for hardwood and substitute the softwood BCTMP to a large extent, if not complete. I'm told that today China is setting up complete hardwood BCTMP mills, and they want to completely stop softwood BCTMP imports. Because one, the availability, supply chain demand is an issue. Two, the prices also are left to the vagaries of discretion of the pulp mills. So that's one opportunity. Now, along with that comes the challenge of where do you get the wood from? And we know that India is a fiber deficient country, right? And if you want to get wood there, how do you ensure that throughout the year, for many, many years, once you set up a pulp mill, you can't stop it, right? We all know that you have to use every minute available for the pulp mill to produce. And wherever we have seen integrated pulp mills utilization being very high, then I think there is a good profit potential. So how do we make the wood available? Wood is made available only if we are able to work with farmers and increase plantations coverage in our catchment areas and ensure that the farmer also gets remunerative prices. What we are seeing today in the industry is that everybody is not doing this, which means that if there are 10 players and only 6 people do plantations, and 4 people continue to consume wood from whatever is available, very soon there's going to be a deficit of wood available. And farmers are not going to wait. I think the kind of schemes that central and state governments are promoting on agricultural crops, horticulture crops, etc., they're going to shift away from plantations. And it may not be a surprise. And I think Mr. Pawan Agarwal mentioned about how industry should be prepared for, uncertainty in the external environment. So next 5 years, 10 years down the line, if wood is not available and if the industry does not promote plantations, which is a very good thing for environment as well as for industry, I think there's going to be a huge deficit of wood available. So that's one. So I think there is no new technology to be done. I think if the industry can partner with the farmers, partner with government schemes that some of us are trying to do, as well as do research in pulpwood, which at least we have been largely doing for last many years. I think all these put together will ensure that we're going to have security of food supplies in the coming years. Now, second, and in fact, one more dimension is, one is to just do plantations, right? Coincidentally, I was in Odisha and Chhattisgarh yesterday for looking at potential for plantations in the coming years. So we realized that while there are a lot of plantations in some areas, the yield is not very, very good. It varies from as low as 15 tons per acre in 4 years to 50. That's the range. In terms of practices, in terms of also technology that we can use to promote wood yield. So that covers the raw material availability issues and challenges and what industry can do. Two, coming to recycled board or recycled paper, recovered fiber. Again, here we are heavily dependent on a lot of waste generating countries or waste where the collection efficiencies are higher, like Europe in our case, or US or Middle East, right? I think some members of the industry were also upset with the recent imposition of customs duty on import of mixed waste paper, right? I have a different view. One is to keep complaining about what government does and why we are not able to get from Europe. Why is that India, with such a large country, which consumes so much of paper from that what we produce, why is the collection efficiency low? Why the segregation is low, right? And there are a lot of agencies today, NGOs today, and the imposition of extended producer responsibility for companies to manage plastic waste. So there is huge opportunity for industry to partner with the agencies to increase segregation of waste at homes, offices, schools, colleges, institutions, and improve the collection efficiency so that all the recycled, recovered fiber-based mills can actually get good quality paper available. We don't have to depend on Europe, because while the government has done some minor tweaking in the customs duty, they may increase it, and it is not so much in our hands. Because I think government, with the Swachh Bharat mission, is promoting a lot of this waste collection and waste segregation mechanisms. And as the end users, what is that the industry is doing today? Not much. So I think industry can do much more. I am telling you, it's not going to be expensive, but there are mechanisms available today to promote Swachh Bharat mission and also increase waste collection. Second aspect I think that I'm going to talk about is about energy, right? I think even if you exclude the current issues of very, very high energy for Europe because of Russia-Ukraine crisis, the coal availability, the coal prices are going to only shoot up, right? There is also pressure of net carbon. I think in the inaugural session, the experts talked about, the veterans talked about the pressure on the perception of how industry, paper industry is perceived to be water consuming, discharge, and coal consuming, coal guzzler, etc. So how can we reduce the coal intensity? And India having committed to net zero, I know Mr. Venkatagiri is expert, probably will throw more light on that, that committed, and the world is looking forward to India also to commit and start taking action. You see a lot of action in terms of renewable energy that countries doing and a lot of industries are doing, right? So what can paper industry do, right? If we invest in new technologies, higher capacity machines, we know very well the energy consumption comes down, right? And Dr. Ashok Kumar showed the trends that industry is doing, but we're far behind what Europe is doing today or China is doing. So we can aim for that with higher capacity machines, integrated pulp mills that generate the black liquor to be consumed, as well as new renewable energy opportunities to do net carbon. So there are a lot of cases within India today, including ours, where we have significantly reduced the water consumption, significantly reduced energy consumption, as well as increasing renewable energy share. And if you see the CEPI data today, the renewable energy share there is much, much higher than us. So I think that is going to be an extremely important area for the industry to work on if you want to change the perception of the industry, as well as ensure that our costs keep coming down. So I would say, I think I have taken a good amount of time for covering these two. We'll see as it goes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.